Yes, greetings in the name of His and Her Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, Empress Rosera Menin, one perfect balance family. Welcome again to another magnificent Monday edition of Politically Incorrect, where we get it correct. You all already know. You know, in light of all that's going on right now, especially with elections and well, campaigning or whatever it is going on in Barbados, one thing is obvious, and that the events that happened before the elections, pretty much COVID and everything that was going on, and the plans that were being unrolled, and the safe zones, and the vaccine for children, and the boosters, and the Omicron, and all the other scary stuff. Here comes an election, although you were told that we're not going to call an election during the pandemic. Apparently, those words didn't last but so long, and now here we are, just as much as we don't want to. We are in the snap election a year and a half almost before the time. Something is a brilliant move, something is strategic. The point I want to make is putting all that aside as a distraction. What's in line for post-election with regards to COVID and vaccine? Mandatory vaccination, is it a fact or is it fiction? Now, tonight I have a special guest coming from us from right across the water, Nikisha Williams. She is a teacher, my understanding, that kind of went through an experience in St. Vincent. And I know that there's a relationship in terms of what goes on in Barbados and St. Vincent. It's almost like we are so close. If Gonzal sneezes, I am certain Mia would rub her nose. But nevertheless, we ain't get into the politics and the politics and the word semantics, that kind of stuff. We going to just jump right into this thing. But before I jump in this thing, family, y'all already know, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Today was one of those days where, man, I don't even know how to put it in words. It was almost like everywhere I turned this morning, I got up, got dressed and thing looking sharp and looking clean, you know what I mean? Went to the city to take care of some work, and everywhere I turn, I hear, yo, Ras. Like, yo, look, yo, Emmanuel, and I will look, yo, I know you ain't know who it is, And they know I don't know who it is because they know I never met them. Yo, man, I be on your live, man. I don't miss a night. So I met so many people today, back to back to back. All when I left town, I went Black Rock. You know what I mean? Met the brother. I mean, when inside left the brother, when inside Carlton, met some more people. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. Y'all planned this today or what? And let me show you how the universe works. This morning, for the first time, I took up a few badges because I had promised a few individuals and a few folks. Yes, Jackie, I know you got one for you too, Jackie, but I'll have to give yours away till you come forward. Matter of fact, I'll just keep one special for you. But I had a few of them, and I had the exact amount of badges for the exact amount of people I met today, which is so ironic because I took the first badge down to meet Ken down there in K. Shepherd. Big up the brother, by the way, faithful soldier. But I was told he was off. Then I met a young lady right then, her and her husband. And when I met her, she told me her and her husband, they don't miss a show. They don't miss none of the episodes. So naturally, I was like, well, this was for Ken, but I will have to give it to you. So she started the ball rolling. And after that, I just kept meeting people along the way. So again, big up to the family on YouTube. Big up to the family on Facebook. Definitely got to shout out Jarvis and the whole clique. Jarvis, my man, you're doing great things. You're doing great things. That's all they're going to say. I ain't going to put your business out there. But big up to you and the wifey. Man, like Black love is real, family. And that's what we need, that family unit. And that's what they're trying to destroy. But the devil is a liar, family. So big up to each and every one. Shout out to my brother Steve, by the way. Got to shout out Steve without question. But y'all know how it go already. Tell a friend, tell a friend. I want to drop a chronics real quick. If you're a trade commission or YouTube or whoever there's a lousy thing. I want to drop a chronics real quick, man. We the children of the Most High family, and although we may not come from the same mother or the same father, we definitely from the same earth. What I'm saying, vibration is real. So family, salute yourself, celebrate yourself, and I'm gonna take this moment right now, this pause. Those who don't want to hear the music that we're watching it later, just fast forward a bit, jump right into the show. But I want to tell a friend to tell a friend. Share the link, family. You know how we do it already, man. It's like that song before the sermon. Yeah. They got plans for us, family. Imagine that the nurses got a strike to get wages and teachers getting sent home and police being fired. So Vincent all perfect. And Barbados is different. We might be worse, It might be worse. Ours is a little bit more subtle. Okay. Don't worry, sis. We're gonna look at that in a minute. Hold on. We're gonna work on it. That's the glitch of the matrix. We Selassie children, we expect that kind of stuff. We right thinking people, not left thinking people. And not too many people might understand that. But those who have eyes to see, let them see, and ears to hear, let them hear. We right thinking people, man. One perfect balance. Tell a friend, man. Reception, huh? We know who we are. You know who we are, family. Young boy threw away his gun. So big up yourself too, by the way. Find a different dome. Never come back, old you road, but you a rasta, I wish I never know you. No, rejected for the life he chose. All alone. The stone that the builder man. Yes, Marcia. See, I wasn't going to forget you. Soon they will reach. Outcast, angels, you know who we are. We're not the fallen ones, we're the ascending ones. The resurrection, the Illuminati family, the original Illuminati. One to illuminate, man. Bear the light. The light bears, man. They took our science and twisted. We have forgotten who we are, family. We have forgotten who we are, family. That's all it is. Children of the Most High, the Triune, that's who we are. That's what they're bound to know, that we forget, but we have not forgotten. We got a few announcements we all love. We are Selassie children, no question. That's right, man. That's right, family, man. We give thanks, man. Children of the Most High. Yes. Night, family. Peace to you too, family. So, family, this was going on, man. Like I said, so much is happening. Yes, we in the building for sure. Shout out to the Tree of Knowledge, by the way, and the whole family, the Tree of Knowledge family. We definitely got to salute the crew. Also, the Sacred Sisters, without question. There's a lot of women in the background that make this possible, that bring balance into the male, into the man's life. And we give thanks for y'all, family, without question. Shout out to Lisa, by the way, too, the juices. Love the mango. That's all I can tell you about that. But there's so much I want to share tonight. I don't even know where to start. So this is what we're going to do, man. Like I said, right now, everybody campaigning and stuff. By the way, we're going to take some time this week as well to bring some additional candidates from the areas that wouldn't normally get coverage. We're going to have them on the program, the platform, on Wednesday and on Friday. And we do have a special segment I definitely want to do on Friday. The idea is to get as many of them on one platform and let us just, let's just have a round table discussion. Well, in this case, maybe a square screen. I don't know. But anyhow, the point is, we gonna connect, we gonna resonate that energy and give it to the people. Because that's what the people we need right now. That hope, that energy, that love to sustain is, especially when you feel, like you insured. Everywhere you go, I hear people saying, I am voting. Listen, family, to not vote is to comply. You know what I'm saying? To not vote is to be in agreement with. So it's a tricky scenario, and I'm not even, the reality is we got to do something now. Like I said, we can't just sit back and figure out, one thing we can't do is sell our children into slavery and then wonder why they are the way they are. We got to be very mindful that our actions over the next course of days, weeks to come will determine the future of our children. Big up yourself, Ken. I see it. I know you ain't come work today, but that's all right. I still got you, brother. Still got you without question. Shout out to what's his sister name again? Isis. Isis going to be in the building on Friday. I don't care what Isis is doing. Isis has to be here on Friday without question. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Without further ado, though, I want to just bring this sister in because I want to give her the time to express what's going on with her and that situation in St. Vincent. And the reason why I'm kind of making a turn here rather than going on the same campaign trail is I want us to fully understand and fully grasp, family, this so-called snap election is not by chance. It's not by accident. Whether people think she's afraid or not afraid, his strategy is get everybody off guard and that kind of stuff. Well, the reality is she lied. She said she wasn't going to do it. So regardless of how y'all want to interpret it, at the end of the day, it's just a lie. And leadership like that willing to lie to the people and then deceive the people right in front of the people and have the audacity to act like it is all right. I mean, like I said, family, these are things to consider. I'm not even saying that she couldn't call it, but why not then give advance notice that that is your intention, although you said you wasn't going to do it. Well, this is what I'm going to do, and this is why I'm going to do it, and these are the circumstances surrounding why. So I'm giving you time to sort yourself out in X, Y, and Z. That's what a true leader would do. But you see the way this is done, family. I bet you there's some other surprises down the road. So we're gonna go to St. Vincent real quick. We're gonna take a little canoe ride across the water as we would have done back in the days. We're gonna check on our family and see what's going on. So without further ado, um, if you don't vote, you will still cast. It will still, yeah, of course, Steve, you know what's going on. But without further ado, family, I want to bring our family from across the water into our platform, into our circle, giving her a stay vacation in Barbados for a few minutes, a few, and we're going to give her a warm welcome as we would normally do. Blessed love. Welcome to Keisha Williams to Politically Incorrect. Welcome, family. Y'all know how to welcome
Thank
her, right?
you. Thank you so much.
Well, I mean, look, I was in Barbados. I was hearing about you as St. Vincent.
Really?
Your reputation precedes you. That's
Wow.
that's all I can tell you. Your reputation precedes you, and in some cases that may be a good thing, and in other
Well, I
cases
hope
it
it's the
can be a
best
good thing.
thing, actually. I
Well,
am actually hoping it is the best thing that whatever is heard about Nikisha Williams are all good things. Let it be known that Nikisha Williams is revolutionary. She's independent. She's strong. She is willing to stand for justice. She's willing to speak for those persons who feel as though they don't have a voice.
right.
That is Nikisha Williams, mother, teacher, godmother, aunt. She is a social activist. She is charity worker. She is friend, neighbor. Just name it. That is Nikisha Williams.
Listen, gave me a whole idea for a brand called She Is. You see what I'm
Ah,
saying? Black women, she is dot dot dot. That should be the
she
next.
is.
You could
Yep.
there's so many things that a black woman is, that she is truly the goddess. I mean, and I'm not saying that in any religious or any facetious kind of way. She simply is. She is. I
Mhm,
mean, if nothing, she is not. You see what I'm saying? So,
mhm.
and I honestly feel that title fits you. She is.
Thank you.
Like I
Thank
said,
you so much.
no, man, thank you for your service, because this is what is up. By the way, big up to Marcia Week, speaking of service, because she also is. And there are many other sisters who out here doing work, some
Mm,
visible, some not as visible, but she is. You see what I'm
mhm.
saying? She is amazing. She is,
Absolutely.
you see, so she is the truth. You see,
Yes.
she is the light and she is the way. Yeah, I put it together like that.
Mhm.
Listen, though, like I said, I heard about
I
you,
love it.
and I was so inspired by what I heard. I had to get on my little secret phone line there on the Grub Sat phone and make a secret call to a secret associate. Like, yo, ma'am, make that happen. He say, 10 Roger that. You know what I mean? So that he put the work in the
Mhm.
conversation. And sis, I'm telling you, speaking to you has always left me feeling excited. Like, you know what? We gonna do this. We are going to do
Yes.
this because they're
Yes.
individuals from different stratas of society. Because as a Rastafari, they're gonna say, yeah, he's Rasta. He always bun fire up on the system and yeah, rah rah.
Mm.
But when you see people who were faithfully there, like in Barbados right now, we had a few protests up to a couple of days ago. Nurses in Barbados went on strike, had to walk through the city and begging the government for wages that they rightfully earn, and for supplies in the hospital that they don't even have. And it's like the nurses. I mean,
Yeah.
look, there's some people in the society who should never play with. Nurses are one, and so do people who work in sanitation, because they
Mhm.
keep the country safe.
Mhm.
This,
Absolutely.
so
Respect is totally due to them.
whatever they need, teachers, nurses, and people who work is the well, I guess sanitation service is what they call it, but perhaps there's another name that maybe not so derogatory in a sense. But nevertheless,
Mhm.
them people right there deserve the best possible treatment ever.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's
Teachers,
just a pity that the governments of the world don't see it that way.
But as a teacher, why do you think that is? Because like I said, when I heard about your story about the school and stuff, I was thinking, well, damn. Because in Barbados, I'm telling you, school's supposed to reopen tomorrow, and although they were supposed to have a face to face, they kind of push it back because of Omnichrome or Chrome or Chromie or Crimea, whatever they call it. But is it possible that what happened in St. Vincent can possibly happen here? So I figured, why don't you share your story with us, and let's see if we can learn from some of the things that happen across the water, so we could probably avoid them, because maybe Barbadians aren't seeing the bigger picture. I mean, fall right into this trap. So tell us exactly what happened.
Yeah. Well, I always say that one of the islands might catch a cold, but it's always the others that start sneezing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's only a matter of time before what is happening in St. Vincent spills over into the other islands. So let me tell you what is happening here in St. Vincent. Currently, we have approximately or just over 300 public servants out of a job because we have refused to take the government's COVID vaccine. Now, back in was it around April? Well, just before, well, as you know, the volcano erupted here on April 9th.
Mm-hmm.
When we went back to school in January, there was a lot of talk about um, teachers having to be vaccinated to go back to school. And if we weren't, what was going to happen? They were going to lock the gates, they were going to send the police, they were going to this, they were going to that. The Friday, however, before we were to return to school, the Monday in April, the volcano blew. Now, mind you, teachers are the ones that man the emergency shelters. So, for a brief period of time, for you could say about 6 to 8 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
teachers, the whole thought about vaccine mandate went out the door. Nobody was studying vaccine mandate because now they needed teachers to man these emergency shelters, which are the schools, which they some
Wow.
churches and so on. So they used teachers for their service.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to work. I, for one, manned my shelter. I'm a home economics teacher. So for that entire period, myself and the other home ec teacher, we were responsible for the food for the guests that we had on our school compound. We had about 300 persons and we were really maxed out. So we had to shift persons around so that we could give these people the best possible experience being displaced and all.
Mm-hmm.
We went back to school online shortly after,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no talk about it. They started then around August or so. The talk came that they were going to make it mandatory for what they call first line workers. Now, all my life, I've known frontline workers to be like nurses, doctors, those persons who would have direct contact with the general public. It was there was no sort of shield, there was no um, special group of frontline workers were exposed to. Unlike teachers, we have our students, and this is a fixed amount of persons every day. So we know who it is that we're dealing with. So if there's a case of where there needs to be some sort of contact tracing, we knew who we were around. All
Right.
right. The government made it mandatory for teachers after saying that teachers would not be considered frontline workers. They changed their tone. I tell you, these people that we put in government to lead and to look after the best interests of our people, they are nothing but a sham. They continue to lie and deceive people, and as a result, we have so many teachers, nurses, policemen and women, and other public servants out of a job today. The government gave a mandate to say by November 19th, all workers that were considered frontline workers were to be vaccinated.
Mm,
If not, they were not supposed to go to their place of work. The unions would have met with their members, and a decision was made that whatever the government said that was not making sense. The lawyers were involved, whatever, and we were advised to continue to go to work. The government decided if after 10 days you were not there, then you would have it would have been deemed that you would have abandoned your job.
mhm,
So
mhm.
to avoid that, persons continue to go to work. They continue to take notes, keep evidence, take pictures, make videos, whatever they could to ensure that they had some sort of a record proving that they did not abandon their job. End of November came. We continued to go to work into December. We were paid end of November. Then the prime minister, because he speaks for every ministry: health, tourism,
I,
finance,
I noticed that.
national
I noticed that.
security, trade. Just
Wow.
he is minister of all.
He's a
So
ventriloquist.
yes, I'm telling you, this is the true definition of a puppet master. You understand? He just goes on and on and on. Teachers continue to work, and because government workers are paid early in December, when when the unvaccinated went to collect their salary,
Mhm.
there was not a dollar in our bank accounts.
Wait, this went to all teachers or only the ones?
Only the unvaccinated.
Wow. Wow. But it's funny because
Only.
in Barbados, the nurses that actually took action against the government, from my understanding, they were paid initially, but then the government went back and withdrew that payment from their account. And rather than deduct them for the days that they were out, they took the whole salary. And this is what I would this I mean, if this is indeed what had happened, you can understand these actions are very similar. They're very
Hmm.
they're very similar.
Well,
This is why I'm saying, tell us what's going on in St. Vincent because I don't think people in Barbados are paying attention.
I will tell you, our dear Prime Minister would have said that unvaccinated teachers being paid end of November was an error, I guess, and he would be advising the attorney general, or the accountant general, sorry,
Mhm.
advising the accountant general to come back for the salaries that were paid in November. Can you imagine that?
If I could imagine, but what I want to show you is this though, if you really stop and think about it, because when I heard when I actually read an article that said that police officers were sent home and relieved of duty.
Yes.
They were fired because they had chosen not to. I mean, this is the same police officers who have put themselves and their family at risk in 2020, the whole of 2020, and pretty
Mm-hmm.
much 2021. And it was okay then.
Absolutely.
It was okay for you to put, because I used to be traveling back and forth. So in 2020, I was still back and forth in St. Vincent before,
Mm-hmm.
before the major lockdowns happened. So when we come into the airport, I would see how it was. And you know, the fact that these officers have put themselves on what they call the front line, although I
Yeah.
keep maintaining and I continue to maintain, people who work in the supermarket, the cashiers, the young people who pack the bags and they pack the shelves, those are
Mm-hmm.
also frontline workers because they see more people in that environment than police encounter on a daily basis, on a one-on-one basis. You know, nurses in the hospital, the amount of traffic in supermarkets back and forth, those lines. I know Barbados has some lines outside around the corner, down the road, and across the bridge. I don't know if Vincent had lines like that, but I mean, people in those environments, in those positions, were exposed to so much. And imagine after you put yourself out there as a police officer or a teacher or a nurse, 2 years later, then be told that you are no longer good or eligible because you have
Mm-hmm.
simply
Now,
chosen not to get the injection eggs. All of a sudden, you're losing your job.
well, it's actually worse than that, you know. We didn't just lose our job, we lost all of our benefits as well. So for me, I have been a teacher for 20 years.
Wait. Hold on. So wait. Let me get this straight. So what you would
Mhm.
be entitled to come retirement, you're saying that all
Mhm.
that is gone?
Absolutely correct.
Oh, nah.
Absolutely correct.
That is criminal.
It is. The unions have taken the government to court on the matter, actually.
Well, at least your union is doing something. I don't know. At least I would give St. Vincent Union did something because I don't know. The unions say do a lot of talk and most of them agree with the government. As a matter of fact, we got one union rep that's involved in the government. And
Oh,
I ain't calling the names. But yeah, imagine that. Political
yeah.
union rep. Come on, it's a conflict of interest automatically.
Naturally, you cannot serve two masters.
But
It's either
listen,
the people
a
or
union
the government.
a union rep that's in bed with the ruling government, a member of the ruling
Mm,
that holds an office in a constituency, and
wow.
no one has done anything to. I mean, this is you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So,
Mm,
what are we to do as a people at this juncture in terms of recognizing what is being done, and how do we move beyond this criminal act that's being taken place and being put and imposed upon people in the private in the civil servant area who choose, which is in their own right to choose, pardon me,
mhm.
not to get or take this vaccine.
Wow. One, as a matter of fact, things got so dire here in St. Vincent, they made it appear as though we had a choice. We could apply for religious exemption or medical exemption. But when I tell you that neither of them made any sense whatsoever, because it didn't matter who, unless you I honestly don't know of any person that got exempted on medical ground. You could have cancer, you could have blood clot, you can have what, you can have heart issues.
It didn't
What,
matter. It didn't matter.
it did not matter. That was even more of a reason, according to doctors, to take the jab.
Nah, but you see, like you said, I think a lot of these Caribbean leaders actually basically made backroom deals, and in exchange for some COVID, because bear in mind the pharmaceutical companies wanted to perform clinical trials in the Caribbean. See, that's the thing that people don't remember or people are not looking at. They wanted to perform clinical trials. They wanted to test this thing on
I
people in this.
remember one country offering their population
That's right.
to
So
be
when
test subjects. St.
these governments
Lucia, St.
says
Lucia government did that.
Barbara, Trinidad, no, because as a matter of fact, it was done through the university, University of West Indies. A lot of people are not aware of that. So they agreed to allow these companies to have their clinical trials in the region. What they did not tell us is that the companies perhaps made offers to them in exchange for COVID relief or emergency funds or whatever name they gave it, but they took the money and had to perform. So when the people weren't responding the way they felt they would have responded with all the fear tactics and scare tactics, they had to try to use different methods and try to rope people in, um, using again fear and tactic to scare you into doing something that was just designed
Mhm.
to be a trial. You see, if someone
Yes.
told you, and this is my position, I don't get it. I'm not a doctor. I don't even profess to be any physician or any kind of advice along that line. But what I would tell people is this: if you were told the truth of the matter, well, listen, look, there is something going around. They call it COVID. We're really not sure what it is, but as a precaution, these companies have been working on something. They're not really sure either. if it's going to work or not work. And there may be potential side effects, including blood clots, death, whatever else. But
Mm-hmm.
it's still a chance that if you take this, you might not get it, but you still might get it. But if you might get it, you might not die right away, but you could possibly still die anyhow. But even if
Mm-hmm.
that, you could still transmit it, although they say you couldn't transmit it. But anyhow, you still want to take this thing? I bet a lot of people say, oh, hell no.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't messing with that. But that don't even make no sense. But they didn't tell you that.
No,
They said
no.
you this and you're gonna be good. Don't worry about it. And the truth is,
Yep.
it isn't good.
And every Monday morning, the information that is out there changes.
Granted.
Every
Matter of
Monday
As a
morning.
matter of fact, speaking of which, and I brought it up on purpose. Um, I also wanted to share this other one. Let me see if I could add this as well. There's a lab alert that came out in July the 21st, and the thing is that I don't know if it's Barbados or other islands or regarding the PCR test.
Mm.
Now, the PCR test was told by the World Health to the islands and countries that this is the gold standard that they're using because it has been granted or emergency authorization use via the FDA based on an application that the CDC put forward as a means to diagnose this SARS-CoV-2 corona, blah 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 blah. At some point, the CDC realized that the PCR test actually is not accurate and there are lots of false positives. And the
That's
truth is,
correct.
the reason why there are false positives is because the PCR test cannot differentiate and distinguish the difference between influenza and SARS-CoV-2. It doesn't know
Absolutely.
the difference. So when they tell you that they amplifying this thing and you come back positive, the truth is they don't even know what they're telling you because the device
Mm-mm.
itself can't tell you which one is.
No, no,
The CDC
no.
decided in July that they were going to withdraw the emergency application and allow you to
Mm-hmm.
use another tool that is multifaceted in the sense where it has multiple layers to tell the difference between who is who. And this was
Mm-hmm.
a recommendation since July. And they said that as of December the 31st, they
Mm-hmm.
got the authorization, which means that you can only use that as a diagnostic tool based on authorization by the FDA. So if it's not been authorized by the FDA, you can't use it.
That's right.
Period. Not as a
Mm.
diagnostic tool. You can use it for something else. That's not a problem. But as a diagnostic tool, it is illegal. And I bet you, like Barbados, St. Vincent is still using the PCR test.
Absolutely.
Well, let me post the document real quick. I have another document for you to post here, but I'm going to just switch it real quick and put this one up for those who are now joining us who might not have seen this before. If you have never seen this before, I have put this document up on my platform several times, and I'm going to add it here again as well for those who might now be seeing it for the very first time. Let me go to Chrome tabs. Let me click on this one. Let me click on share. And in so doing, it should come up somewhere around there. I want you all to write this down. If you're not seeing this, if you're now seeing this for the very first time, please, family, tell a friend, tell a friend. These are the kind of lies that this country administration is telling
Mm-hmm.
you. These are some of the things that are going on. And as a matter of fact, I have a special guest that's supposed to come on tonight to speak about her experience in Barbados, having taken um, the vaccine for the younger ones. She's a young lady, she's a student, and unfortunately, she has a family emergency in the QEH, and she's currently there. And I'll leave it at that. I won't speak too much more about that. But, family, let me say this to you: write this down and go look this stuff up. You can't make this up, man. You cannot make this up. They did, and this is the CDC's website. And this is since July the 21st. It's a lab alert. They have alerted the labs. This is regards to the changes to the CDC's RT-PCR for SARS-CoV-2 testing. So if
Mm-hmm.
the people in charge telling you something that's wrong with the test method, then after December 31st, 2021, CDC will withdraw the request for the US Food and Drug Administration for emergency use authorization for the CDC 2019 novel coronavirus time RT-PCR diagnostic panel. The assay first introduced in February 2020 for detection of SARS-CoV-2 only. They withdrew it. They're going to withdraw it as of December the 31st. And guess what? CDC is providing this advance notice for clinical laboratories to have adequate time to do what? To select,
Mm-hmm.
implement one
A
of the
different. Mm-hmm.
FDA authorized alternatives. And what we doing? We do the same thing. We have not heeded the warning of the people in charge. We don't follow the science. Look, the science right here. But let me go one step further. Hold on. And by the way, you need to click these two links when you're reading this as well. Very informative. In preparation for this change, CDC recommends clinical laboratories and testing sites that have been using the CDC 2019 nCoV RT-PCR assay selected for being their transition to another FDA authorized COVID-19 testing. Now, let me ask you a question. Why they actually recommending that you make this transition from this PCR to some other one that is already authorized by the FDA? Let me tell you why. CDC encouraged laboratories to consider adoption of a multiplex method that can facilitate detection and differentiation of SARS-CoV-2 and influenza virus.
Mm-hmm.
You need a device that can that can detect and differentiate
That's
between.
right.
And the reason why is because the PCR cannot
Cannot do it.
do it. But no, we still using it, and people still allowing people to juke that stuff all up in their nose that they're looking for. I don't know what,
They're trying to find the brain, man.
man. I don't know you. But the thing is
That.
that this is what is going on. So, family, if you're not watching this for the first time, again, welcome. Big up to the family on YouTube. Look, write this down. Tell a friend, tell a friend. And anytime the people ask you, or the government asks you about a PCR test, show them this. If you got to print a copy, put it in your bag, put it in your wallet, walk with it, all that. But you got to go ahead and get tested. Show them this. Speaking of testing, though, what's going on in your neck of the woods regarding testing? You were telling me something earlier about some changes.
Hmm. Well, today, shortly before we started speaking, I got a piece of correspondence from the Ministry of Health, which is saying pretty much that until further notice, all testing of all mandatory testing on job place, employee testing, whether vaccinated or unvaccinated, will be suspended until further notice. So it means, therefore, that they have stopped quite abruptly testing of persons, and it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated. We're just not testing anymore, and they're asking others in the public, in the private sector, whatever, to 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 follow suit.
Yo, this is so crazy, right? You cannot make this stuff
Criminal.
up. Imagine the Ministry of Health and Wellness and Environment wishes to inform the public that employees and workplace testing for unvaccinated and vaccinated persons, as requested by employers, has been suspended. So, in other
Mm-hmm.
words, being tested, nobody no more on the job until further notice. The funny
Yes.
thing is, they didn't tell you why they stopped testing people now. So wait a minute. So if they're not testing people, whether you PCR positive or not, and you on the job, then the people that they send home for not having the vaccine or not
Mm-hmm.
PCR test, well, they should be reimbursed for the time off and reinstated. Not
I,
true.
I 100%.
But
I said that to my colleagues tonight.
I know
We should
politicians
be going back to work
that makes
hopefully by
sense.
next Monday.
Something smell fishy here.
Ah, boy. Let me tell you what I forgot to add this little bit. So the nurses, being frontline workers, would
Mm-hmm.
have gotten a bonus from the government at Christmas of $500.
Okay.
Then, just after an announcement was made that all frontline workers, all public servants, that would have worked during the volcano will also get some money. Do you believe that teachers who are unvaccinated, although they would have worked during this period, will not see a dime?
Wait, 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 wait. So wait, so the teachers who came out when it first happened in the volcano and then
Yes.
put themselves out there and had to man the different shelters, although there was a lot of
Hmm.
chaos in the shelters, and I've seen a lot
Hmm.
of videos. By the way, big up to Kenson and congrats on your union with Mrs. Kenson. You know, I had to throw that out there real quick. My brother from another mother, you know what I'm saying? Yarmin on the rise. Big up to
Hmm.
that man too, by the way. You telling me that the teachers who went through all of that
Will
got no.
not see a dime.
Well, let me tell you what happened in Barbados. Barbados went so far as to, well, manipulate the situation as if they bought a special coin, a new dollar bill that apparently glows in the dark with a, with paint on it and
Mhm.
fish or whatever, to give to the nurses as a token. But the funny thing is, they were ordered before the whole thing kicked off, so they just kind of reroute the purpose. They repackaged the purpose. But anyhow,
Mhm.
they honor the nurses for being so, frontline workers and making such a sacrifice for the betterment of our nation. And in so doing, we honor you, honor you. A few months later, you ain't vaccinated, you getting home. You ain't getting
Mhm.
paid. Nurses on
Yes.
strike, nurses short staff. They import nurses from Cuba and I think
Right
Ghana.
here in St. Vincent. Yes.
Okay, my thing is you in taking care of nurses at home, but you bringing in nurses on a contract basis, paying them
Mhm.
probably in US dollars, which is way more trans in terms of turnover than what nurses are getting here. I'm not even getting
Mhm.
into the qualification of some of these individuals because, as far as they're concerned, home drum beat first. So you disenfranchise and marginalize our own people in exchange for people who coming in temporary, maybe as a short stop before they go to North America or Europe, because everybody looking for a better dollar anyhow. And our nurses now are at the point where they're out home, not getting paid and nothing. So you see the
Mhm.
similarity in terms of the behavior towards the people who sacrifice frontline for this whole thing in the beginning.
Yeah.
This ain't
It
right.
is.
This ain't right.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
And the thing is, I meet a lot of nurses, and I would never throw them onto the bus. Even today, this morning, again, I met a nurse. And the thing she was telling me, she works in the hospital right here. So these nurses aren't making this up. I know people who work in that environment, and the things they tell me that go on in that environment. I'm thinking, how is it possible that me, I on the outside knowing this stuff, and people who work on the inside pretend they don't know because they pretending. Nurses don't have any health insurance. You know, I mean, a nurse don't have health insurance. Like how? That's like an oxymoron, though. I mean, okay, there's not health insurance, but you working in an environment that exposed you to God knows what at any
To
point.
everything humanly imaginable.
Everything you exposed to it, and unfortunately, the government cannot find it fit to not even. If they might mention it now that there's election coming up, that's one of those perks, and we intend to make sure that all healthcare workers have the proper coverage to ensure their safety through this pandemic. I can hear it now, man, from the prime server. I can know.
Wow.
But guess what? Cry too late, man. I keep telling people, family, these people don't care nothing about us. I think what's going on in St. Vincent right now is a testimony of what is to come. I think because
Mhm.
Ralph is more, well, this might sound funny, pun intended, but he's more masculine, and our prime minister is supposed to be a female. I'm not using the word suppose there in some clever way. I'm just saying that as a woman, she's going to do things a bit different. And as a man who might be brutish, he will do things a bit different. But I guarantee you,
Mm.
the objectives are the
Are
same,
the same.
are the same, you know. I think at this point, we really have to recognize that something needs to be done. And conversations need to be had with families. I think
Absolutely.
as people right now, I think we need to reach a point where every household starts to sit down and ask themselves, okay, so what is the plan? Especially those who have not taken or not sided with the system in terms of how they have manipulated others to acquiesce to their desires. I've always tell people there's a yin and yang, there's a negative and a positive, a light and a dark. It's always going to be balanced. So keep in mind that despite all that they're doing, there's another side that actually feels quite contrary, and it's genetic because nobody never had to tell you or explain to you why you shouldn't take a vaccine. You just knew you wasn't taking it. I mean,
That's
it,
right.
it wasn't like I had to really go pray to God and Father, give me a sign. If I cough 2 times,
Mm-hmm.
if I wake up and cough 2 times, I would know that I got to go and get this job. If I cough 1 time, then it's okay.
Yeah,
No, I could cough 1,000 times, I still ain't getting that. I mean,
that's right.
I could catch this corona 1 care less, I still ain't getting that.
Absolutely.
I catch corona 1,000 times,
Absolutely.
I still ain't getting that.
And what people aren't recognizing, because a lot of teachers would have made their decision, and I'm telling you, as a Vincentian people, we really don't love our own. You would see on Facebook, they would tear down
Don't
people
do
for
it.
having their own conscience,
Don't
for
do
for
it.
people making a decision for themselves. People would tear them down. They would celebrate the firing. We got our dismissal letters the very last day of school after preparing reports, handing out reports, everything like that.
Mhm.
And people would be on Facebook and on the other social media platforms celebrating that this is what has happened to their fellow brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
celebrating that they can now get a job because they decided to take the vaccine. But like I say to them all the time, you can never beat experience. And it doesn't matter how much you feel you have just gotten this job, you will never keep it because you did not gain that job simply because you deserved it. You know what I mean?
You know what I can tell you though? The funny thing is, you realize that there's more aggression coming from those who are vaccinated towards those who
Yes.
are
And
not
I
vaccinated.
don't understand why. I mean, you should be celebrating your vaccine and being happy that you COVID free, you can't catch COVID and all these other things. But there you are warring with the people who have just decided to just live.
Simple. It's so funny. I have a friend. She calls it um agitated denial. I had to admit, man, when I first heard her speaking that way about that, I realized that we have a glitch here going on. But nevertheless, I know you can you still hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay. Because it definitely is a glitch in the system, right? That they be honest, we fully get it. Like we fully get it. And this is why we are not even concerned because we're dealing with something they don't deal with, and that is the the witchcraft. And they're not saying that in the sense of a noun, but in the sense of a question. I heard an elder explain that. I was amazed because witchcraft. We always talk witchcraft, and we think, oh, that witchcraft, but witchcraft not in the context of a noun, but in the context of a question. So the question is, which craft are we using? Which craft are we using? Well, guess
Hmm.
what? We're using the original craft. You see, the one that our universal Father gave us. It flows in our veins. It connects us to universal power, and that voice guides us. We don't have to be
Hmm.
guided by no government. Only slaves need to be told what to do. We've been free. We've been sovereign from birth. And no matter what
Hmm.
document you use to try to defraud and deceive, it doesn't matter. Sovereignty starts in the mind and the hearts. That's where it starts first. And once that seed gives birth, that light ignites, trust when I tell you, there's no water that can quench that. None. No water.
Hmm.
This fire.
Absolutely.
None. So when Ralph do his little deal, backroom deals, and the prime servant here does her backroom deals, and all the deals are being made, as far as I'm concerned, it was God that hardened Pharaoh's heart. So
Oh boy.
I know that if you didn't do the things you were doing, if you weren't doing those things, we would not be in a
Hmm.
position to do the things we're doing. You see? So there's a relationship with what's going on and where we are. And where we are now is a resurrecting people, an awakening people, a people who are ascending to higher heights. So I am grateful for all that is happening. Whether you think, whether you think it for bad or you mean it for bad, we'll turn this into good, because too long we've been on that treadmill. Too long we've been laying in your grasp and your grips, depending on the little pittance you put in our hands for survival, when all we had to do was come together and do our own thing. Well, it's that time now.
Absolutely.
It's that time. That's why no flag can hold us. You're right. Vincentians do tear each other down. I see it here in Barbados, but guess what? So do Barbadians. So do
Wow.
Canadians. So do Trinese. So do Lucian. So do, I mean, they have us all again. That's why democracy and parliament and these governments is a fraud, because it always forces the people to divide themselves. Well, you
Of
on that
course.
side and I on this side. And we gonna go back and forth and realize that no matter how many times we go back and forth with each other and they play political ping pong, making us dizzy looking from left to right, the reality
Mm-hmm.
is the plantocracy, or what they call the private sector, get richer and richer and richer. Right now, Barbados national deficit, I was told, is 21 billion US. If you can look around Barbados and show me what we have here that would explain why we have a deficit of 21 billion US, like I would say, okay, show me a new airport, a new seaport.
Listen to me. I can tell you that St. Vincent isn't far behind.
Don't say that, because y'all like a
I
third size
am,
Barbados in every way.
listen to me. We have an airport that my great great grandchildren will still be paying for.
What?
I am putting it to you. We have an airport that took almost just over 10 years, almost, yes, because it was two elections that he was using the airport as his catchphrase. We have to finish the airport. So yeah, 10 years, just about, to finish building. And we do not get a quarter of the business that Barbados has. So
Oh,
um
wow.
we're in a with St. Vincent, we're in a dire state. I say this without any apology. And we continue to dig a hole for ourselves. I am
Wow.
not sure at what point we're going to be able to climb out of it, but unless we unify, and I'm not just talking about within St. Vincent and the Grenadines here, I'm talking about across the region until our region
One
unifies,
Caribbean. I totally
one
agree.
Caribbean.
Totally
Until
agree.
that happens, we will continue to suffer the divide.
Well, I recently heard a message, and there's a brother here in Barbados, and he does these voice notes occasionally. Shout out to Fred Corbin, by the way, and he puts out these voice notes. He talked about the manifesto that is now available for the new, well, I can't even say new, from the Barbados Labour Party, the manifesto they have for this election. And I haven't seen it, but he said that upon review, he realized that it's a plan, totalitarian plan for the region, which again, I don't doubt that. And Barbados has always been that country. Barbados has always been
Mhm.
the leader of the region. Whether we want to accept it or not, that is just a fact. But the reason why that is because the governments at that level are the corporations known as Caribbean Islands, and Barbados being a corporation, the company Barbados, or the company called St. Vincent, or the company called St. Lucia, the company called Trinidad, and so on and so forth. They come together and make their plans. The problem is we have been comfortable and complying with this system far too long. That is
Yeah.
the issue. We should have been then got up, brush off, we recognize what happened, and start to position ourselves to develop our own governing system to end up to the point where, because think about it, if St. Vincent divide tomorrow, and out of the 100 and I think 113 or 100 and so thousand people on the island, let's say it was 100,000. If
Mhm.
tomorrow 50,000 Vincentians decide, look, Ralph, we ain't dealing with that. What can Ralph do? What can
What
Ralph do?
can you do?
Tomorrow, 50,000 Bententians decide to unify and say, look, Ralph, here we're getting on, brethren. We're going to form our own government and you're going to sit down with us. So we're going to negotiate how we can split this island, because in failing to do so, we're going to have to go to war.
Yes.
And you got people on the police force that might be on your side. You got people in the defense force that might be on your side, and so on and so forth. But the thing I want to make is that he would have to then decide what he's going to do, because the island is now split in two.
That's right.
But we would have to have talks, because the truth is that was what it was to start with. When y'all first came, y'all sat down, y'all talked, y'all said you want to run a business and whatnot. and y'all going to
Mm-hmm.
do this, promise that. And we said, okay. You came in, start doing stuff, got comfortable, got the people drunk, and while they were drunk, you kill off most of the warriors
Mm-hmm.
that could oppose you. You
That's
see,
right.
raping the
And they
women,
continue to use that drunken state
then
to
you
keep
then you
people
then you
enslaved.
captured all the land, including that which you didn't negotiate, which you stole.
Mm-hmm.
So now, centuries later, you comfortable in your position as if you have forgotten the crime against humanity that your corporation is guilty of. And as a spokesperson for your corporation, you by extension guilty by association. That goes for
Yeah.
Barbados as well. But it's that time where we got to draw the line. Because in failing to draw the line, like the brother said, they're going to go forward with their plan. So the question is, if we fail to plan, our plan is to fail. So the question is, what is the plan? And
What
I
is the plan?
we have to find a way because if not, our children and our children's children will be subjected to a form of enslavement that would make the last enslavement, I keep saying it, look like an all expense paid vacation.
Hmm.
It dread. So we have to recognize rather than trying to fight them and stop them from doing what they are programmed to do, we need to focus more on building what we need to do. Our school infrastructure, or health wellness centers
We need to create our own light.
farming and agriculture sector, or developing trade, not just locally, but regionally and international too. We don't need them to do stuff, you know. We need to have our own boats, our own ships, our,
Mm-hmm.
our own planes, our own vessels. And these are things that are not impossible. They're not impossible. We have enough resources amongst us to get the ball rolling. Full stop.
Absolutely.
Full stop. And the funny thing
Absolutely.
is, medicinal cannabis is a way because a lot of these foreign European countries with millions of people, I mean, you got countries with 50 million people, all this kind of stuff. There's a market waiting for us. We can't let them control everything because they want to come to your region, your land, take your resources to benefit
Mm-hmm.
them. A little penny in your hand and tell you thank you.
That's how they do.
Those, yeah, but
They
we
make
we
sure that their children, their children's children, they make sure that they have amounted so much generational wealth that it's
yeah,
impossible for their
yeah,
land, their heritage to ever be broke again. While
yeah.
we continue to suffer, our children continues to pay their grandchildren, and so on and so forth. We honestly need to find a way to come from under the thumb of the governments.
Unification, unification. That's the bottom line. And until we reach the point we recognize that it is up to us, and if we don't recognize that, it's up to
Hmm.
them. But if they organize us and we don't organize us, they'll put it in a way that advance them. See
Yes.
that thing called middle class? That used to be the cushion that used to be the wall they hide against or hide behind. Their plan is to eliminate that middle class. Is the haves against the have-nots, and they'll use the ones who want to have to execute
Hmm.
efficiently,
That's right.
and
That's
that
right.
and that's why we can't play with it. You see, that's
That's
exactly
right.
why we can't play with it, man. And I was telling the sister earlier, and I was really hoping she could have made it. I just sent her a message, by the way. She's probably out of the hospital. Life, man, to finally find someone. Because I keep hearing about this thing all the time, right? And everybody in Barbados apparently, I hear this body got this happened to them, but they don't want to say nothing. This and here's the funny thing. I know a few people personally who have even shown me pictures of people who got the injection X, what I call it, the vaccine, and got sick. I mean, real sick. I know one woman, and she probably wouldn't admit this, but after she got it, she couldn't even walk. She had to go and get acupuncture, but she never connected the two her whole life. All of a sudden, but anyhow, maybe it just happenstance. But this is a young lady who is so brave, willing to come forward. I mean, it speaks again about our culture because she is from the Indian community in Barbados. She is Muslim, and I'm saying, well, wait a minute. You mean all the people I met that had issues, that said they had issues, I said, well, come and talk about it. Like, nah, man, I don't want to, I don't want to, nah, I don't want to, boy. You homesick as a dog, on the verge of dying, pain, going through all kind of stuff, shakes and all kind of stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
you forward. And here's a young lady from a different culture altogether, complete different culture, with the courage. Yeah, I come and yeah, I talk about it, that no problem. So I only said it to say that we really got to look at how we have been conditioned to, like you said, play the back, allow everybody to go forward and just be the servants. But I'm saying those days are over, and we have to do something now because our children are exposed. School about to reopen. This Omicron is going to be used as the springboard to scare the
Well,
bejesus.
I just sent you something
Mm-hmm,
that a news article from today as well,
mm-hmm,
where they're saying, well, we have 700 and just over 700 cases, COVID cases here in St. Vincent,
mm-hmm.
and 600 of that are vaccinated persons.
Wait, hold on. You have 700 cases.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the 7 plus, 600 plus is vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
It is the 100.
According to SVG Health,
It was the
there's a page on Facebook,
okay. Let me see. Wait.
and up to a couple days ago, they recorded 700. They had a total of 700, just over some things like 763 or something thereabout. But today, the news article comes out that one of the health officials is saying that they have over 600 fully vaccinated COVID cases.
Wow.
Over that 600 today or yesterday for that matter. But from 700 and something cases just a few days ago on the SVG official website to now today saying that we have over 600 fully vaccinated COVID cases.
You
That
can't.
says a lot.
I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it out right now for others to see too. I'm gonna share it. Okay, got it open. Let me. This is
That that
crazy.
says a hell of a lot.
But my thing is this though, and okay, got it. Let me open this up. My thing is this though, and again, I don't. Oh, by the way, big up to Fire Taki in the house, man. Big up to the whole Virgin Islands for sure. St. Croix definitely. Gotta shout out the family, man, especially in Trinidad as well, and the whole Caribbean. But I definitely people in the rocks. Listen, right now this is crazy. You cannot make this up. How is it possible that y'all gotta see this? Y'all gotta see this. And make sure you write these links down. Write this link down. Go see it for yourself. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Like I said today, I met so many people today, which is the funniest thing because that has never happened before. People that just shout me out because they say, "Yo, I be watching you, man. You know, keep up the good works." You know, and that encouragement is the key. Like I said, you gotta do your part now, though. You gotta tell a friend to tell a friend, and that's the key because we all in this together and all we got is us. Y'all can see that. You see that. So when you get these links, don't keep it to yourself. Go tell a friend that you'll read this, what you think about it, and have a conversation because you can only make informed decisions when you are informed. If you're not
That's right.
informed, then you can't make that informed decision. And that's just the reality. So get informed and get informed. That's how we're looking at this. Let me open this up.
Mhm.
Let me share my screen now again. Because I'm telling y'all, you cannot make this stuff up.
No, you can't.
I
You
mean,
absolutely cannot. And it seems as every
how you,
day,
how you mean
more
it?
information proving what the unvaccinated have been saying for the longest of while. Each day, some new piece of information comes out and says, yes, that is why I didn't get vaccinated. Something else, that's why I'm not getting vaccinated. That's why I will never get vaccinated.
Wow. Listen,
I
write
don't
this
even
thing,
want to go
family.
to the clinic to take a tetanus shot if I
Uh-huh.
get cut or whatever, for
Uh-huh.
fear that
Wow.
I'm just staying away from these places.
Wow. Family, listen to me carefully, family. And I don't want to get religious, but the scriptures say that sheep have owner, cows have owner, you know, and they all know who their owners are. But my people don't know to whom they belong. And I say that because I saw a sister, big up to Dan Dan, by the way, talking about, animals not having governments. Let me show you something, right, family? As a people, we have gone through so much, and that's why they only talk about slavery, and we come a long way. We come a long way. Nah, that is such a misconception. I mean, we come a long way. You mean we fell a long way because
Mm.
we was in a different position before that, but no one talks about this. But guess what?
Mm.
This Sunday at 1 o'clock, if all goes well, meaning in terms of timing, because this is on the other side of the world. I have a brother from Zimbabwe, born and raised in Zimbabwe, coming out of South Africa. Um, I don't even know how to put this. Special guest. I mean, a special guest. He's so special. I don't even want to even mention his name. Like, I don't
Mm.
even mention his name, but I'm sure once they see his image, I'm going to do a flyer actually. Today is what, Monday? I'm definitely going to put a flyer together probably by tomorrow, Wednesday, the latest. I'm put it out early enough so he can circulate it because what this brother has to share with us from that side of the globe, I mean, listen, this is strictly Jah works, God works, Allah works, Buddha works. This is a universal
Whatever name you call him.
place. That's what it is. It's a universal thing. That's why, as a people, in my father's house are many mansions. You see what I'm saying? If it were not so, I would have told you. We got to stop this division by flags. Why is it Vincentian? So I don't like Bajans. Why is Lucian? So we're not deal with the and Jamaican, Trini, and this and Haiti and listen. We one people family, one Caribbean especially. We have always been here for each other for generations. Our fathers and forefathers and forefathers, our mothers and foremothers, and we have always been here, family. Yes, some folks may have came from Africa on the slave journey or the enslavement journey or the imprisonment journey. But the reality is when they got here, they found us the same way. We was already here. We are the original indigenous beings. And that's why we are uncomfortable because we recognize what they're doing now is to recolonize the region. But if you don't remember how they did it, you ain't going to understand what's happening. But trust when I tell you, they're looking to recolonize. That's what this is. Hence
Hmm.
the great reset. What are they resetting? Are they resetting us back to when we were rulers? No, they're resetting slavery, where you would own nothing and be happy. Okay.
Yes.
So if you're comfortable
Yes.
being put back into slavery, that's being enslaved. I don't have a problem with that. As a matter of fact, I look, man, kudos to you. But as for me and my house, nah, though. We ain't dealing with that science family. We ain't dealing with it. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not aware that that is the reality. It's enslavement taking place right here in the Caribbean again. And unfortunately, we are so divided and fighting each other, you said, that we don't recognize that. You know what?
No.
That's part of the plan. So those who have eyes to see, let them see, and those who have ears to hear, let them hear. The scripture say, "Come out of
Absolutely.
her, my people, come out of her." So
Mm.
not her in the sense of the female, but it used in the direction in terms of what the scripture designed as described as the entity that pollutes the world, that makes the world drunk. So once you're drunk, you know you ain't thinking. And all our political leaders right now are politically drunk. I'm telling you, they're politically drunk. They don't. They're just following what they're told, and they're just doing what they have been paid to do. So the issue is not with Ralph. Ralph is just a puppet. He's just a puppet. There's a puppet master that he subscribes to, and he has to. Our prime servant here is just the same way. They answer to a system that's in place that because it has been that way for so long, no one has challenged it. So guess what? Well, we're not here to
Hmm.
challenge it. We're gonna let it implode on its own. We ain't propping it
Of
up anymore.
course.
We're gonna go and build our own thing and do our own thing. Simple as that. Simple as that. You know, I can't even say that anymore to you. Teachers need to really recognize how important it is for them, especially now because the children and vaccines. That is going to be the biggest topic next. But
Of
nobody
course.
can talk about it yet because
Of
it's
course.
sensitive. So let me call
But
it lecture
I have
about it.
seen in
Okay,
some countries
okay,
persons offering up their children for a two-piece meal. So
okay.
I am sitting back and watching to see what is going to happen in the other islands as the governments move from the workers that they can actually control, which are the public sector workers, to the children in the public sector schools.
Wow. My family here said that U.S. Virgin Islands have 3,000 plus active cases as of the 1st of January 2022. Overnight increase in activity cases, but no mention of the infected vaccinated people. No
Well,
mention.
that's how it is. That's how it is. That is how it is. For a very long time, we were not hearing of any. As a matter of fact, I think just a couple of days ago, on the 5th of January, it is claimed that we had our first fully vaccinated COVID death. But I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't believe it for 1 minute. It seemed as though there were no vaccinated persons that was catching COVID. But all of a sudden, we have over 600 vaccinated patients, fully vaccinated patients. How
Mhm.
did that happen in the blink of an eye? I honestly believe that they can't, they cannot, they can no longer tweak
Mhm.
the information that is coming out there, and more persons are making it public that they're fully vaccinated and they're COVID positive. So now they have no choice. And I
Serious.
still believe that this is the final number. This number is still edited somewhat.
But you know why they do that also? Because, like you said, at some point they gotta find a way to escape the hoax, kind of like a escape plan.
Mm,
Because you can't abrupt say, "Okay, cut, show's over, take off your mask, don't worry about it, go back to normal." They gotta find a way to kind of.
prolong the game.
So what they do now is Omnicron. That's the biggest thing now. So the vaccine don't work on it. You can't really test it, which is funny because if you can't test it, how you know somebody got it? That's
But
strange.
that's another thing. I keep asking, how are they able to differentiate Delta from Omicron, from just COVID, from now they have Delta Cron? So, how are you able to differentiate what strand a person has?
Because it has a serial number.
Oh, Lord.
Don't forget this
Some
stuff.
kind of tracking.
But this stuff ain't man made, Sorry, it's not natural, So it
Of course,
got
it's man, and of
got got
course, it's man
got
made.
sequence and a code. It got code. So, but my thing is, it's a breakaway from breakaway. The fact of the matter is that whether it exists or not, these vials with this, the guy called it pig piss earlier. I almost fell out. These vials with pig piss, the pig piss. If COVID is not real and it doesn't exist, which is very likely, by the way, what is definitely real is those vials: AstraZeneca, Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson and Johnson. Oh, not to mention Sinopharm from China.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be the only
And
one.
Abdallah from Cuba.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, we know that those are real, and people who take those injections have no idea what short-term or long-term effects it's going to really have. Why? Because it has never been tested. So there's no argument about whether it is safe or not. You cannot say it is safe. You don't have enough information to verify
That's
that.
right.
What you can say is that you hope so, and I'm hoping.
Absolutely.
But the reality is, you cannot. The company can't even verify that because they're now doing the clinical trials on you. So they
Mm-hmm.
make you to see if you live or die to know, yep, it worked or no, it didn't. You understand? And that is the sad part. So we do this because we care and out of love, and they look at you like you crazy or like you nuts or you're a fanatic or you some conspiracy
Yeah.
or
How
whatever.
could you not follow everybody else?
All you're doing is this out of love because you care for them and realize, well, look, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying you should be mindful and be, just, take a little notes. You start feeling the way, write it down. I keep telling everyone I know that took the vaccine, so listen, go get a book for that. And every morning you write down how you feel during the day, at night, and you keep your own journal, your own notes as to what's going on in you. Because the truth is, it's a trial. No one knows what's going to happen. No
Mm-hmm.
one. And anyone that tells you that it is okay is lying, because no one knows. And the study they did with the 1,000, you could have studied 1,000 people or 10,000 people. It doesn't matter. There's
No,
no long-term
every
report.
person is different.
Not to mention that everybody's different. Nobody knows because there hasn't been enough time to verify anything. So you're rolling dice. But let's just keep pushing love. The sister talk about nationality, and that's something that we going to definitely have to get in that conversation sooner or later. And I'm hoping that once this election thing is this madness is finished, we can have classes. I've spoken to a few elders, a few people that I know who's more fluent and aware to speak on it. To let's start looking at it realistic. This is why I don't mind a lot of the voice notes I hear going around, and everybody talking COVID and the government and stuff. What I don't ever hear, and this is why I say what I say all the time, is that the plight of indigenous people or those that were enslaved are not being addressed. Yes, everybody talk about COVID and Corona. Yes, they talk about these different things, but the reality, the fact is that it is not necessarily our fight by ourselves. We've been fighting for the last how many centuries. Others now join on our fight, which is cool, but the issues plaguing our communities, if COVID right now was to disappear, up and disappear, we still got issues with our young ladies. We still got issues with our young men. We still have issues with our families and communities, impoverished communities. We still have problem with the joblessness in our communities. We still have problem with proper, decent health care. We still have problems with house ownership. We have problems with all these issues with inferior generic food that they want to give us in these supermarkets, and meats that are not necessarily grade A. So what I'm saying is that we still got other issues that we cannot ignore because of COVID. Because when COVID decided to flip, trust me, all those other issues we were ignoring, it's gonna be like an avalanche, man. We trying to avoid COVID and getting covered by impoverishedness and disenfranchisement in our communities. So something needs to be done, like I said. And I think right now a lot of the independent candidates in Barbados who are involved in this selection stand a very good chance to make a difference. And I think that we should always support that, knowing that if these individuals who call themselves politicians up there pelting back and forth mud about who care who, and the funny thing is all they talk about is who thief what.
Yeah.
All politics when they get on it, all they talk about is who stole something.
Mm. And the other one didn't do anything.
Well, you took 9 and they took 8, so you were it just be back and forth. But what these independent candidates are doing is bringing plans and ideas to the table, and just taking time to get to know the people and reason with the people. And I totally love how it is going. I think that a lot of them have a good chance to really make that difference, and we depend on the people to recognize that we tired of both of them. We tired of the two of them. The two of them. You know,
I
let the
think
people.
that's the very same mentality here in St. Vincent, where
Two of them. All
persons are tired of the ruling government, but they don't have confidence in the
serious.
opposition.
Serious.
So it's just where persons are just tired of the system generally. They're tired.
I
And
agree.
you can blame them.
But you know what happens when you get tired of what's happened, because now is that's a good place to be. When you reach the place where you feel like you've had it up to here, you're totally frustrated, and that is the perfect place to be, because it's at that precipice
That
that
you find change.
exactly. So again, I'm not against any individual, whether political or otherwise, but I do recognize that as a people, there's some injustices and some unfair business going on that's been going on for quite some time. And I feel as though if we don't address the elephant in the room now, that the elephant will trample us. And
Mm-hmm.
when two elephants fight, only the grass suffers.
Mm-hmm.
These parties go back and forth with their millions that they stole and billions that they stole, and they can afford to do these things and have the big, big shows, the big, big tents, all this stuff. Um, It's up to us now as a people to make a difference by believing in our own people, our grassroots people, who knows how it feels, because who feels it knows. A lot of them politicians can't feel it, so they don't know. So that's why they can't really relate to you when you're corn, poor man, fish and chips, corned beef, and what do you call it, sardine and biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
You see, poor man, fish and chips is sardine and biscuit, and that's the reality. A lot of them can't relate to that unless it was a storm that they found themselves without food. Other than that, they ain't got a clue what that tastes like. Never lived that life. But I bet you the people on the ground could do a way better job. A mother with 5 children can balance this economy way better than anyone in people with them degrees. I guarantee you.
Absolutely.
Guarantee you. You know.
Absolutely.
But sis, I want to appreciate you coming forward, man. Yo, share some words with us before you go and tell us, what are some of your plans going forward?
Well, I am a part of a group, a social group. We're a young group. We came about just last year, just around the COVID time, where we were distributing masks and hand sanitizers, trying to do our part
Nice,
to,
nice.
to, to come to we at the end of the day, there is so much darkness around that all we want to do is shine a little bit of light. If we can make one person, two persons' lives better, we aim for that, and we have been having a lot of struggle socially in St. Vincent, apart from the vaccine, with injustices being dished out left, right, center. We had a situation where a senator and the deputy director of public prosecution were accused of going onto a man's property, shooting a man, and that would have started our protest action. For the Christmas season, we had a toy drive for those public servants who lost their jobs. So we would have been, giving back to the community, preparing lunches, delivering supplies to the hospital, to the poor home. We have a home here that is considered the poor home, where persons who are destitute and don't have persons to take care of them are
Wow.
simply placed. And we've made many donations in and across St. Vincent and the Grenadines, assisting students to go to school. We have been doing our part. What we have planned for this week coming up is from Wednesday to Friday. We will be going out again with public servants and protesting. There are a number of issues. St. Vincent is going through so much right now that I know it's only one spark that is going to cause this beautiful country of mine to just blow up.
Wow. Another eruption.
Another eruption, but this one will not be volcanic.
I
We
think
saw
it's
it, we saw it many times in the past. Vincentians are a loving, kind, patient, generous people.
mm,
But there comes a time when they can't take anymore and they forget that
wow.
spirit of Chatouillet comes alive in my
Wow.
people
All right.
and
I
they
love that.
rise.
I
My
love
group
that.
is called Rise Hiruna, and that is what we do. We encourage our fellow Vincentians, our fellow citizens of Uramain to rise.
That's
That is
right.
what we want to see in
That's
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we will be continuing, and we have a seed program coming up where we'll be going to a number of villages distributing seeds for persons to start their own gardens, make a
wow.
living for yourself or feed your family somehow. We try to bring as much hope to the people as we possibly can. And I know that now I am out of a job, but that only allows me a little more time to meet and greet the people back in the grassroots, because that is where it all starts, right down on the ground.
Listen, man. You know what? I love it. I love it. Chateauet. I mean, I when I first saw that poster in the airport, I've talked about that on this platform numerous occasions. When I
Mm.
first saw that, I mean, I wanted to take it and bring it home. Yo, I searched the internet. I searched. I found it on the internet by the
Mm.
original. Sorry, the artist. And
Yes.
I would love to. I may have to reprint that on a larger print and just put up a print. Of course, the print is not the same thing, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, we want people in truth and we connect. And I mean, there's nothing that could change that. We all go through the same thing. I mean, as a matter of fact, you had a brief encounter where you were, you were, the security forces came to your house. You want to tell us?
Yes. Yes. They came through my home. And this was shortly after. This was in August. Shortly after the whole quote unquote bus head scenario with the prime minister. And about 7 to 8 officers, um, guns. They surrounded my house.
They stormed
Um,
your house, man.
yeah,
A
yeah,
teacher,
yeah,
hold up,
yeah.
a teacher. They stormed the house of a teacher.
Yes, yes. I'm telling you, these people. We have a squad here called the Rapid Response Unit, the Black Squad. They are what would be pretty much. It would not quite be the equivalent of the Barbados Defense Force, but
Like for
it's
special
close
unit,
enough. It's
men in
close
black,
enough.
men in black,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, the men in black. You know, there was a man with a gun on on the right of my house, one to the north of the house. There were people coming through. I'm telling you, all my neighbors came out to see this spectacle. Like, what in the name of Christ is teach in that she would have 10 black squad officers
They
and
teach
CID officers storm her house um, with warrants in hand, confiscate all her documents, every notebook they could find, every notepad, every piece of paper, every laptop, every tablet, every cell phone, everything they could put their hands on,
because
and they
after
were all
you
gone
are
for
you are
quite
a
a few days.
you are a KGB spy.
I am telling you, I must have been served a red notice
That is
because I don't understand. Like what oh there must have been some plan to assassinate them. Who wants to have this man's blood on their shoulder? Not me. I don't want to be responsible for his level of criminal activity. I am sorry. I don't want to be responsible for that. So let him live long and old. Let him become prisoner in his own body. Not me. I will not be responsible for anything to cause this man harm.
I think this is so crazy. You can't make this stuff up. Like the plight of the people in the Caribbean, especially the women in the Caribbean,
Hmm.
has not been told. You see, we hear about North America and Europe and the larger countries, and to some degree Central and South America. But see, when it comes to the Caribbeans, the Caribbeans, that
Hmm.
haven't been told, man. That's why when it comes to the sisters in the region, she is. You know what I'm saying? She is, man. Hashtag she
Hmm.
is
She is.
dot. She is amazing. I mean, she is
She,
all bright and beautiful. You know what I mean? She's
mm,
a bright and morning star, man. Like,
I'm
you know,
telling you.
she is. I love it though. Sis, I want to thank you for taking your time,
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
and
Thank you. I'm Barbados is one of the countries that I truly, truly adore. It's the first country I would have taken my son to vacation when he was just about 3 years old. And
wow,
he loves it there still. You
wow.
know, Barbados is still a place I will always come back to. Your white sand beaches really does just mesmerize a Caribbean girl. Like,
You know what's funny though? Your black sand beaches is really mesmerizing. Here, Rastaman, though. I love it though. That black sand beaches be nice.
yes,
See how we could appreciate.
each
You.
other. That's right.
That's a
That
beautiful
is
thing.
absolutely right. So you
You,
keep doing what you do,
oh, well, I
you
thank you.
know, and keep trying to unify the Caribbean because this ultimately it's all it needs is a conversation to be started. And with every conversation, we keep winning people over. People keep learning and understanding what is the true purpose of being, what is your what the idea of being Caribbean is all about. That
True.
name is not a name that was just chosen haphazardly. We are
Serious.
a Carib people.
The Carib people. You telling me
Caribbean.
Caribbeans? That's right. The Caribbeans, man.
You
That's
understand?
the other. There's
So that
a
love, that
right.
unity abounds in our blood. It's in our heart. And nothing or no one can ever destroy that. All we need to do is tap right back into it.
Wow. That's love, sis. Love, love. Much love to you as well, and the family. The
Blessings, brother.
Irene on the rise, man. I keep telling people my first visit to St. Vincent. Um, when I went to Richmond, I went to Dark Falls, and that was just by I didn't even know. I don't even know how I ended up there. I ended up on Dark Falls with a rented vehicle with the needle on E, thinking I was going to find a gas station, and there's none out that side.
No gas station after Pembroke, no. And you
None.
reach that viewpoint?
Listen, not only did I reach there, I made it. I made it. Actually, I came all the way back down to a fishing village where really fishermen boats get a little diesel from a tank right there off the side in a little hut.
Oh,
This is behind Camden Park, somewhere down that side. I don't remember the
yeah.
name. I
That's,
have,
yep, that's Rucha Bay.
yeah, a little rough area, but I love it though. But having the, but let me
Yes, that's Rucha Bay. Not far from the brewery at all.
okay. But when I went to Dark Falls, I mean, I keep telling people, and I always go back there because I really can't explain in words what happened, man. I mean, I was as if Soufriere was calling me, like, come, come take a bath, man, and just refresh,
Mm-hmm.
refresh. And I've been on a high since then. Like
Mm.
I've been on a frequency different to what I know. I always tell people the man that walked in is not the man that walked out. And I give thanks for the universe and Mother Nature for, keeping me and guiding me and bringing me to meet people like yourself and bringing us together to help other brothers and sisters for one sole purpose. And that's just to bring us together. I mean, that by itself, I think, speaks volumes. I think that's what they're most afraid of, us
Mm-hmm.
who we are and fulfilling our divine appointments and uniting our
Mm-hmm.
brothers and sisters. So you too continue the works that you're doing. I love the
Thank
seed
you.
program, by the way. I think that's an excellent idea. And maybe we could even implement something similar here as well and make it happen. So it is to connect with our brothers and sisters, learn, and
Mm-hmm.
to suit the demographics we coming from. So blessed love, sis. We gotta have you again soon. We have talks about the school we're working on, and we definitely got to expedite it because end of January is coming up. We definitely want to have things up and running. So we have much to discuss, and you know that.
Yes, I most certainly do. So
By
talk soon and
by
blessings, everybody. Good night.
that is the greetings by the royal family in South Africa, and I say to you, Bayete, Bayete, Bayete.
I will have to learn a little bit of that.
I got you covered. Don't worry about it. We in this together. And I got you covered. Trust what I got you. Listen, tune in on Sunday, 1 o'clock. I got you. I'm gonna send you a link though. We got
Okay, great.
we got Elder
Uh-huh.
coming, and
All
he's
right,
just
brother.
a Elder. But listen, man, this brother. Oh man, I'm gonna send you the link though. Trust me, he is that time, man. What was
Mm.
hidden shall be revealed. You see, this is the time of Aquarius, so knowledge is going to be poured out, and only
Of
those who have
course.
the eye and the ear is going to hear. I mean, that's just
Mm-hmm.
the reality. So, the knowledge is being poured out, and Bob Marley said it. And the abundance of water is when the fool is thirsty. So let's just keep the water flowing. You see,
Okay.
that's the love, sis. Thank you for joining
All right.
us.
Bye-bye.
Yes, family. Listen, man. I ain't gonna tell you, man. You gotta give the sister some thanks and praise in case you go ahead and tune in now. Let her know firsthand. Send them hearts, kinetic energy all the way across the water. I ain't gotta tell you. Make sure you tap that 1,000 times. Send that energy. Send that energy to the family across the water. We love y'all, man. One Caribbean. Totally, totally agree. One Caribbean. The funny thing is that, you know, the more they try to fight us, the stronger we get. Y'all didn't notice it. The more they try to divide us, the closer we get. And I see it happening. I feel it happening. We have a special guest coming through on Sunday. I was already given the all clearance, politically incorrect. Join us on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Y'all already know, 8 p.m. sharp, unless we have a little glitch shortly thereafter. But yeah, we're getting better at the timing as well, which is good. So the glitches, they go and come, but we almost We almost there. Trust me. We mm, you know, we oh yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. It's all love. You want to contact us politically in dot correct 246. Make sure you showed us the email address, and if you feel the need to support the program in any form or fashion, the PayPal account is also there. So feel free to drop some pennies in there, man, and make the thing happen. Because believe you me, every dollar, every cent makes a difference, whether directly or indirectly, to make this thing happen. So, yes, family, we give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks. Um, if you have any thoughts, questions, views, inbox as well. Like I said, a lot of stuff is going on. The campaign trail is blazing. Yes, but let's not fail to recognize that there's a deeper plan going on here. COVID didn't disappear because of elections, although they're acting as though there's no COVID, which is the funniest thing. Campaigns all over, crowds all over, everybody all over. And guess what? Ain't no issue. Ain't no COVID police. So you see what's going on, family. So right after the election, expect that they have a lot of spikes because of the election. And, we got to put you back in your cages now. So make a difference, family. To not vote is to agree. To not vote is to agree. So make sure you make a difference, family. Anyhow, family. ISIS, I ain't gonna tell you. Friday ISIS in the building. All the as many as possible independent candidates in the building. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Let them link up. Phil, I ain't gonna tell you. We already talked about it. Make it happen, and let's give the platform to those who need it to share their story. Big up to the sister from St. George North as well. Big up to all the people who work in the background to make some things happen for each and every one of the candidates who are presenting themselves and their message. Much support, much salute. Big up to the brother Dwayne as well, Dwayne Hunt and his family. Yeah, appreciate the support as well. Gotta shout out good people, man, because in this time is all that is necessary for evil to flourish. Is that good people do nothing. But guess what? Good people doing things now. So hey, Bayete, Bayete, Bayete. Big up to the royal family, by the way, the royal governor as well. Big up to sisters Waletta and Selassie in Jamaica, without question. All the brethren and sisters across the region, man. Right now, we in this together, feeling great, feeling mighty, and this thing happening. Whether you see it or not, believe you me, it happening, man. So we give thanks to all those who make it possible and make it happen, man. So much shout out to all you too. Make sure you subscribe to the click. What is it? What is it? Subscribe to the page. Click on the bell. You know what I mean? Hit the notification. Make sure you get all the links when we coming on live. Make sure you like the page on Facebook. I still don't know how I got more followers than likes, which is funny because I think it would be the other way around. It doesn't matter. However, make sure you tell a friend and tell a friend. That's all that matters. You ain't got to click nothing if you ain't want to click nothing neither. That all good. But be sure to do one thing, if nothing else. Tell a friend and tell a friend. And just for the record, though, I okay, I won't share that information. I got you. Yeah, I got you. But I'll call you in a minute. Family, right now, everybody going through stuff. And I just want to take this minute to say, take time to love, family. Take time to love yourself. Take time to heal yourself. Take time to recognize that it's okay to forgive and not carry that burden, what he did or she did to you decades ago, or even days ago, or even hours ago. Learn to let go. Learn to let go of certain feelings that don't serve your purpose. There's no need to throw the baby in the bath water, of course, unless you need to throw the baby with the bath water. But I guess that's for obvious reason. There's no life in the bath water. But apart from that, my point is, man, be at peace. Yes, Jackie. Be at one. Be at one with yourself. Be at one with the universe, and balance and balance and balance. I got reminded of that this afternoon, and I really appreciate that one word, balance, because we need it. You know, so much is happening now, and so much is changing so fast. Like I said, focus on what we desire more so than what we don't want. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. That's what's up, man. And big up to the sister this morning that pretty much cried her whole heart out in the middle of the bank on my shirt. Trying to, you know, we overstand, man. And you know what? Just love yourself, man. Love yourself. Love yourself, man, and do what's right. So family, big up to my family as always. Empress, I see you, man. We got build too, by the way. Yeah, Taki, talking to you. Tired of telling you that. I got something to say it tonight, though. I'm going to send it to you, for sure. I'm going to send it to you. I feel so good, family. Not even funny. Like, today was such a high day, family. An amazing Monday. Amazing moon day. There are a lot of things happening in the universe right now, and there's even talk about cell phones being used as a device to manipulate those who are vaccinated with the nanoparticles and the nanotechnology to manipulate their thinking, to cause them to vote for whoever choose. Well, whoever, like in the movies, you got the villain who got the remote control or the detonator or whatever. But guess what? There's rumors about people being controlled by cell phones, and I know what? In 2022, anything is possible, man. So all I'm saying is, family, be wise, be vigilant, be diligent, and stay up, stay aware, and stay informed. And more importantly, talk to your family, your friends, your co-workers, your neighbors, and have a plan. Food security is priority. Wellness. That's also important. A lot of families right now, parents are going through dementia, which, by the way, dementia is really type 3 diabetes. It's the sugar, too much sugar. So make sure you keep them away from the sugar. And, a lot of people got it rough, man. So let's try to help each other as best we can and do better and do right by our fellow man. And until Wednesday, family, politically incorrect. We out. You know how we do. And we're gonna take a song request. We do that in a while, man. Let me do a song. Man. Somebody give me a song, man. I know don't inbox me because I ain't get a chance to look. Put it in the chat. You know who I mean by that, man. I won't see it right now. So drop a tune in the chat, man. First tune to drop. Let me see. Let me play a tune, family. Otherwise, I'm gonna pull up something. Let me see. Let me get a tune, family. Art in Motion. Listen, give thanks to you, brother, too. Really, man. Your perspectives are really artistic, but art is the highest form of human expression. So trust when I tell you, man. We salute you, brother. You are necessary in these times, even more important than you may even realize, because you tell the story in a pictorial form. They said pictures worth 1,000 words, man. So you could say more than I can in a simple art form. So keep up the good work. The third world tune done set straight. It done sex. It done set. It done set. Third world. All right, looking up the sound now. Arise, but I can tell you something. All right, let me see what they do with this one, man. It done set. It did plug in. You see? It did plug in, man. It plug in, man. Jarvis. Arise, man. Third world. Isis, I like that tune, Isis. Yes, family. Let the sunlight touch your eyes. Tell a friend to tell a friend, family. Adios, mi amor. Proud of you too, sister. We come a long way, family. Only who feels it knows for real. For real, for real, for real. Rhonda, you gotta get the link from somebody. Yo, somebody post a YouTube link to Politically Incorrect in the chat. There's some folks who are saying they're not seeing it. Post a YouTube link if you can in the chat, family. Arise, family.
The ocean runs a fisherman, speaking words we should understand. City says the ocean of life, but they know good if it gets inside. So
arise, family, arise, arise. That's right. Let the sunlight open your eyes, family. Arise, family. But listen, when you're done arise, though, there's some responsibilities. When you arise, there's some responsibilities. Isis, tell her what you gotta do. You don't just get up and lay down in bed and act like you just, you know what I'm saying, sleepwalking. You get up and you fight back. That's right. You ain't got a thing to lose, man. You ain't got a thing to lose, family. That's right. Everything to gain, family. Everything. Look. That's right. Serious. Fight back. That's right, man. That's right. Hold on. I gotta pull out tune there, man. I can't let Steve get that one out there. So, Steve, my man, you know what time it is, man. All praises to the Most High, Jah Rastafari family that we dealing with. It's all love, man. The power of the Trinity, man. Fight forward this thing, man. Jackie got you covered, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You supposed to know better than that. Big up to the L's in my life for sure, without question, man. All the L's and the B's in my life, I give thanks, man. I give thanks. I ain't gotta call your name. Y'all know who you be. Divine entities, man. It's the wrong I and I. Serious. Yo, somebody give Rhonda the link for the YouTube. Matter of fact, hold on, Rhonda. Hold on, man. Yo, Jackie, post a link to YouTube. Better yet, Andrea, post YouTube link because I know you on YouTube in the comments. I think Rhonda's looking for it. You got nothing to lose, to lose, to lose, to lose, to lose. Serious. No matter how high the price you pay, they're gonna say you're wrong anyway. People like a malignant cancer, oh how they shun the truth. Stand up and fight back. You got nothing to lose. You got a thing to lose, man. Stand up and fight back. You got nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose, to lose. Nothing to lose, family. The link is up, family. Make it happen, man. Big tune, family. No matter what the people say, family. Nothing to lose, man. Listen. Mind, body, soul, balance, family. Be at one here. Be at one, man. Whatever you say you are, just be that, man. Just be that, man. I see you. The marshal in the building. That's what's going on. Everything to win again is a fact. Is a fact. ISIS is a fact, man. Thank you all for being a part of this tonight. Thanks for the support. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your inner chi. You see that create the inner G that manifests and create all reality. Haile Selassie the First, Empress Rosea Menin, one perfect balance family. Give thanks and praise, you see. And that's what we're dealing with, man. We're gonna link up on Wednesday. Like I said, I got a special announcement on Wednesday. I'm gonna give you the name on Wednesday once everything is in place. And family, y'all do not want to. We got a special Sunday school on purpose. We got a special Sunday school, a pre-selection election meeting Sunday, 1 o'clock, politically incorrect. Be here, don't miss it. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. The show just keep getting sweeter and sweeter. The program, I don't like calling it a show because it's really not a show. The program, because this is programming. Believe that. We unprogram and reprogram the minds, man. That's what this is. It's a program, straight up. Don't get it tied up. This is the show. This is serious business, family. So tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. And that's what we're dealing with. Y'all have a beautiful, magnificent Monday. Rest well. Shout out to Armageddon. For me, he was on my mind. Let's make it happen, family. Be at one. And remember to love, heal, forgive, and be at one. Rastafari. See y'all on Wednesday. Love y'all.